Western Illinois head coach Joe Davis team is coming off its open date on the schedule. This week they're going to host McKendree, first home game of the season. So, Coach, just some thoughts about your team and how it used last week, and then for prep, and then we'll go into some questions.
Excited about our football team here with an opportunity to get home. I think you look at all the strength of schedule rankings that have come out after this weekend, and we sure had our work cut out for us there in those first 3 weeks. Playing three really good football teams, all on the road, all in very hostile, packed environments. And as I've said many times, I think it's hardened us a little bit. You can tell basically in the last 8 or 9 days, just how we've practiced. I think it's just a little bit more of a sense of urgency. Have gotten some guys healthy, and really had a great opportunity towards the end of last week to get a lot of live work in with our younger players. Friday morning went out and had about a 50 play live tackling scrimmage, which is just a great opportunity to see some of our young guys in action. So exciting a time for our program. Excited here to get home under the lights on Hanson Field and show this community what our new football program is all about.
Thanks, Coach. If you got a question for Coach, let me know down in the chat, and I'll call on you. Dan from Prairie State Pigskin, you can go first.
Good to see you, Coach.
Good morning.
I'll see you in Macomb on Saturday. So
sounds great.
So you kind of alluded to it, but after being on the road, you finally get a home game. So what does that mean, to the program, but also to you personally?
Yeah, I mean, exciting and humbling and honored, and all those emotions and thoughts I think that go into it. I mentioned to our team, hey, this is going to be my first home game on campus as well. So and I think we're excited not only to get back on our home field, but to interact and show this community what our football program is all about. This community, for those that don't know, is very passionate about Leatherneck football and Western Illinois University athletics, and much of the town really centers their weekend around going to Leatherneck football games. So just excited to get out under the lights. Our fundraising folks here in unison with our alumni did a heck of a job fundraising a lot of money here this spring, and I think fans will see that in Hanson Field. We really revamped the east side of the stadium with banners and just different things that we could do to recognize really the tradition of excellence within this football program, from championships to playoff appearances, and obviously to show our players how much football really matters here at WIU.
I'm curious how much you've addressed the streak with the players, or if you've not, just how have you gone about that?
Haven't one bit. It's not even a point of conversation with us. I mean, it's I've mentioned to folks a few times, there's 65 players on this team that have nothing to do with that necessarily. There's 10 coaches that came in here that didn't have a lot to do with that. And while we have a lot of respect for teams of the past and players of the past and coaches of the past, it's a new era with big energy, and that's really our sole focus right now, is moving forward and looking for our first win of this season.
I got one more for you. So this is the game where, a fan is going to get to call the first play. We talked about that a little bit, back in the spring and the early part of the summer. How's that evolved? What's that going to look like?
As far as I know, the fan has their play picked out, and we've kind of given them a little bit of a menu to choose from. And so they've got it picked out. How the school and our media staff here is going to present that on Saturday night, I don't really know, but we're going to honor that. We're going to honor it, and the fan. In fact, it's the father of one of our players here got to choose the play on a raffle in the spring, and so hopefully picks a good one.
Hopefully it doesn't put you out of a job.
Correct.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
You're very welcome.
We'll go to Mike McGraw next. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Joe, this is Mike McGraw. I'm the Daily Herald in suburban Chicago. How you doing?
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, I was just curious, when you took this job, what kind of things gave you optimism that you could turn things around at Western, and since you've been there, what kind of things have you seen within the program that have you encouraged?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was very much attracted to a tradition of excellence that has been here within the football program at Western. I'm very aware of that, having coached in the state of Illinois for a long time as a small college football coach. I came up through the ranks right up by you, Mike, coaching at North Park University on the north side and coaching at Wheaton College in the west suburbs and being all over the state recruiting, was very familiar with Western Illinois football and all the great players and coaches that had come through here. And then when I moved up into the Division I ranks as a coordinator, my first coordinator job in Division I was at Northern Iowa, and Western Illinois came into the Unidome and beat us on homecoming in front of a sold out dome, and did it in a way that is very representative of how we want to rebuild this program, with a great defense, with big physical players, guys that maybe were a little bit under recruited and have kind of a chip on their shoulder. And that's going to be a little bit of the blueprint here. So, things I've seen, I mean, I just think moving into the OVC was a very big positive, not only for our football program, but for the university as a whole. The schools in the OVC much more aligned, I think, with Western Illinois. And I think that there's a camaraderie aspect amongst fellow athletes when, football plays against UT Martin and women's volleyball plays against UT Martin and men's soccer plays UT Martin and those type of things. And so I just think there's so many positives here. And having spent the past 2 years, at Eastern, where we had to overcome a lot of significant early challenges, I just think we can do something very, very similar here, with a beautiful campus, with good enough resources, facilities, budget wise, to be very competitive here at some point in the OVC.
So what, letting the fan call the first play, was that your idea?
No, it was not my idea. I think it was a way to generate some interest and some enthusiasm around our spring football game. And like I've mentioned, anything that engages our fan base, our parents, our community, I'm all for it. And we'll make the best of it. And if it's a good play, we'll hire them.
Okay, I'm all set. Thanks.
Last one, Coach, and we'll let you go. Just any thoughts on McKendree and just what you've seen from out of them?
Yeah, I mean, good football team, physical football team. They're well coached. One thing you notice about this team, regardless of level, they play very hard. They fly around the field. They cause havoc on defense. They're coming off, a really, really big win for them at home. And, there's a lot of familiarity, I think, with some of their players and our players, state of Illinois type kids. And so, we're going to have our hands full Saturday night. And I've said this to our team. I mean, this was a McKendree team that a year ago started 0-5 and then won their last 5 games. And to me, that says a lot about the resiliency of the people in that program. And so, it's a tall task for us. And in today's world of college football with the transfer portal, things can happen that are strange. Kids bounce into Division II, or they bounce into FCS, or kids are in the FBS from Division II. And so that fluidity and roster movement, I think at times can create a lot more parity, and so we're preparing for a 4-quarter battle on Saturday night, no doubt about it.
Coach, appreciate your time this morning. Halfback option pass is what I would call. I'm just going to throw it out there. We'll talk about it next week. But good luck, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you so much, guys.